Hey, everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are now watching Beyond the Horror Apocalypse, episode 7. I would like to give a very warm, wonderful, special welcome to my special guest, Ketty Joseph. Welcome,
Hello.
Ketty. All right, so we have Kenny, we have Mother Supreme. Let's talk about episode 7 because Kenny and I agree that we have a lot of questions on this episode. Now, this episode was written by Adam Penn and directed by Jennifer Lynch. Jennifer's directed a lot of episodes for American Horror Story, and I believe she has written a couple as well. Now, this episode kind of pissed off a lot of fans already because FX Plus did not upload the episode until about, for me, it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it took a little bit for people to watch it, and by the time it came out, people were just pretty upset about it. So sadly, this episode wasn't as great as before, but I still thought it was pretty good. The episode starts with Dinah. She explains that she is now the voodoo queen, taking over for Marie Laveau. Did you like their choice, Kenny, of voodoo queen?
I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like, I feel like they should have. I don't know. You would have thought that like they would have like wondered, oh, what happened to her? It's just, oh no, she's dead. She's gone.
Right? I love how you put that. Well, I love the spell that she did to help the woman whose husband had been cheating on her. They killed, I guess, the girl that he had been cheating on the wife with, and then they took her heart and put it in a blender. And
It was a heart healthy smoothie.
yes, oh my God. That's a perfect way to put it. A heart healthy smoothie. And then they forced the husband to drink it. That was badass. And so they also had, I guess the spell was to make him faithful to his wife from now on. But Dinah is really trying to drum up business. And I really understand with her going overboard and really wanting to drive her point home. So that way, she gets a lot more paying customers. Okay, so Cordelia comes to her and asks Dinah for help. And Dinah says to her, look, what help could I give the witch queen? And that's when Cordelia says that she wants a hot date with Papa Legba. Yeah, guys, she wants a rose from him, basically. So Dinah sets it up, and Cordelia asks Papa Legba to help her and the witches to defeat Michael. And he says, sure, he'll do it for all of the witches' souls, every single one of them. And of course, Delia turns him down, thank goodness. And would you have turned him down, or would you, Kenny, have subjected yourself and your entire coven to Papa Legba?
I mean, I don't know. What's a few witches versus the whole world?
I love that. See, you think about the greater good, Ketty. I love that.
I don't know. I probably would have been like, nah, we'll figure something else out.
That was one of my favorite parts is when Papa Legba said, come out, child, and Nan comes out from behind him. She was so fucking incredible. Nan was like, been a long time no see, bitch, to Cordelia. I mean, it was so like, Nan, she was such a sweet young character who was innocent, completely innocent.
I know. Like, besides like Ma Petite, like Nan was so innocent. I mean, she killed the neighbor, but whatever.
Well, but she deserved it because she loves her son. I mean, I think God would have been totally, solid with that one. Like this one time. No, I'm just kidding. But I thought I just loved her transformation from such a pure, innocent character to such a devilish one. And the way that her and Papa Legba like exchanged chuckles, that was just the best. I lived for Papa Legba and his Nan. She's like his little satanic helper. She causes trouble in hell. So
Meanwhile, Michael's out camping like Blair Witch Project.
right. Oh my God.
Maybe he's camping at the Roanoke house.
Maybe he's battling Scathach. That's what okay. So at the beginning of this episode, the warlocks, or excuse me, yeah, later we'll talk about the warlocks made mention that Michael went to go be in solitude in the woods, and that kind of struck me as odd. And I kind of thought the woods, Scathach, is maybe did he go just try to maybe, or excuse me, I'm letting my YouTubers influence me right now. My original thought was, did sexy Scathach lure him into the woods? And I kind of thought about making a parody, like a funny video about dressing myself up all dirty and scraggly and trying to be Scathach and try to seduce Michael into the woods. So I thought, okay, so I'd have
they both ate hard.
So I thought I'd make a funny video about my Miss Two Meads, and then about me being Scathach trying to lure Michael into the woods. But so one of my watchers, hey, it's Rashad, Rashard, said, what if Michael is battling Scathach? And I thought, oh my God, that's even better. Like they're having a Harry Potter Voldemort like fight out in the woods right now.
Okay, did you realize also that whenever it was episode 5, when like they did their little warlock protection thingy, that was on the same blood moon as Return to Roanoke? Like it was that same night, I guess.
Wow, you know what? You're right. Because I guess a lot of this stuff is now interacting with the storyline of Roanoke, since it goes back to 2015. And Roanoke takes place in 2015 and 16. 15 and 16. Yes, it does. Not 17. 17 was Colt. So, yes. Wow. No, oh my God, we're going to have to go back, Kenny. That would be great for my theory. Because
he is going to battle sexy Scathach.
I thought that hey, it's Rashard was a much better idea. So I thought instead of doing a sexy Scathach seduction video, I would do a theory video about Michael and Scathach having this big battle out in the woods. So that theory video is going to be up for patrons soon, but it will be up for my regular subscribers maybe early next week. So, I have a ton of...
Okay, also we do... Sorry, but we did hear that there's going to be, I guess, a sex scene with Michael and somebody. Like, I don't know. I mean, it didn't look like he was going to see Scathach in next week's promo, but, like, I don't know anymore with these promos. Because, like, okay, episode 7 promo was just, like, the first 10 minutes of it. Like, that was the promo.
Yes, you're right. Because they didn't really give away too much. And a lot of the information did come out at the end of the episode.
I hope we see Scathach. Because, like, didn't Ryan say that, like, verbatim that we were going to, like, get more of her? Like, we were going to see more of Scathach.
Well, I mean, a lot of viewers have pointed out smartly that they don't need Lady Gaga to have Scathach, because... Lady Gaga just played her in the reenactment, so they can technically use any
Joan Collins
that they want. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, she said she was playing like 4 people. I mean, we've seen 2 so far. So I mean,
yeah. I'm sorry, that was just my nod to Cartman, because if he were the one here, that's how he would describe Scathach. So
I think Thaisa would be a good Scathach.
Who?
Thaisa.
Oh yeah, I agree.
I
I
think
agree
that
completely.
Zoe is sort of related to her too.
Yes, because they are descendants of each other. Ultimately, Scathach is like the OG witch, and all witches are descendants of Scathach, obviously. But I thought that Zoe was her direct bloodline. So
Okay, and also in the episode where there were zombies on Halloween, like whatever spell Zoe did, like that was some straight up power. Remember, like
be in your
Marie
nature.
was like, "Oh,
Yes.
they got some straight up power over there." Like that was some Scathach shit.
Yes. Yes. And that's what I used in some of the evidence for they're related to each other. Yes. Now, the next sequence in the episode is a replay of one of my favorite Tales from the Crypt episode. And it came from obviously, I think, a movie short from the early 70s. And I feel so silly
Bubbles
that
McGee.
it's been so long since I've seen it, so I had forgotten it. But I literally have all my Tales from the Crypt seasons over there on my uh, bookshelf, just easily to grab. So that's why I remembered it so easily. But she stars basically as herself in the same character. Her name, though, her stage name is Bubbles McGee. I love that. It's such a porn name. And so Bubbles or Madison comes in to the movie set that she's on, and she tells Bubbles that yes, she may have been part of the covenant once, but they need her again, and she's got to come quickly. So through Myrtle, oh crud, I'm so sorry. Hang on one second.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Blake, I'm live streaming. Can I call you back? It's okay. Love you. Bye. Sorry, that was my husband. If I wouldn't have answered, he would have freaked out and thought there was something wrong. So he's so sweet. And then sadly, look, my phone. See how it's all black and cracked now? I don't know if it can be
Oh,
seen. I don't know if it can be actually seen on there anymore, but yeah, it's all crazy blacked and cracked now, especially on this side. I gotta get it sadly replaced again. So I can't text anymore. And if anybody's waiting for me to send them messages on Instagram, I am so sorry. I can't because I can't type on this phone. I can't use this half under here, this section of my phone. So yeah, sadly, it really sucks. So at a dinner with Myrtle, Madison, and Bubbles, we learn that Bubbles had the same power that Nan does as telekinesis, I guess. And I know I got it wrong in the video, so that's my bad, guys. And Myrtle basically wants Bubbles to attend a dinner with the Warlocks and herself and channel her inner, powers to
her
get the
inner
goods on him.
Nan.
Yeah, I described it as her inner Sookie Stackhouse.
Her
Everybody
inner
loves
Edward
Sookie.
Cullen.
Yeah, right. Yes. Oh my God. No, it's literally been raining the past 2 weeks here, worse than if we were living in Washington. So I think I'm gonna pull out the old Twilight DVD over there and maybe watch that later today and just kind of get back in my Twilight vibe or something since you've mentioned it. So I have to say that in this scene, this is when Myrtle wins the one-liner award of the episode when she says this about Bubbles. To this day, my mastery of the art of fellatio is unparalleled, thanks to the special teacher at the table. I loved that. Bubbles and I should sit down and drink and just be besties now. That's what I think. Bubbles, after hearing, come on, if she taught Myrtle how to give the best head in the world, I want to sit next to this woman and I want to be her best friend. So I don't know about you guys, but yeah. So
Can I like mention something like this is a bit like bugging me? Okay.
what?
No shade to Cheyenne Jackson, like he is a part of the season, but okay, why not just, have Cheyenne as a guest and then why not add Frances to the title sequence? Like she's been in it more than he has.
Seriously, and her eye makeup is much better than his. I mean, I don't know who the fuck has been doing Cheyenne's makeup, but they need to stop with the eyeliner like way underneath his eyelid at the bottom. It makes his eyes like very creepy, ghost-like. It's just odd. And it doesn't bring out how hot he truly looks. So just in case the makeup people are listening, stop putting it way too far underneath the eye. It just looks off. What have thought that? So let's talk about our favorite girl, Coco, and her new power of determining how many calories are in food. I loved that.
Jenny Craig. She's like a walking and talking Jenny Craig.
Seriously, Kenny, I agree. And I loved that sequence when all of the girls are like, shut up. And then they get something else and put it in front of her. And she's like, does her eye thing, 362 grams of fat, or calories. And they're like, oh my God, chocolate bran muffin, 362 calories. It was just hilarious. And all this freaking food soon enough is spread out in front of them because they're trying to find out if it's really true. I thought that was hilarious. And obviously that's going to come into play of why Coco and Mallory, the two were placed together for the apocalypse. So I really love how we're getting this information, and I definitely intend to make a theory video speculating what Coco's ultimate power is with Mallory. So expect that as well, because there's got to be some reason, in my opinion, why Coco has this power. She can't be, like you said, a walking Jenny Craig for just no special reason, right? I mean, I do, though. I need Coco in my life.
Okay, can I mention also, when the scene of Bubbles McGee, or whatever her name is, doing the, the little cool tales from they had that guy, a Santa Claus killer who escaped an asylum. Was that referring to what's his face from season 2? I think his name was Lee.
Yeah.
Was that a asylum thing?
I think to me, it felt like a throwback more to the Tales from the Crypt episode than it did the asylum. However, in the actual radio announcements, the asylum was not Briarcliff. It was another manor that started with a B. But I did take note of that. It was definitely not Briarcliff. So if they really wanted to throw it back to asylum, they would say Briarcliff as far as I was concerned.
Right.
So it did, to me, have a touch of asylum in it. But to me, it was more the Tales from the Crypt episode and the homage to Joan and her past characters. But I could be wrong, obviously. So let's... we did talk about Cordelia did not get the rose from Papa Legba. And, here we go. When Coco chokes on a snowball, Mallory literally uses her fucking finger to just surgically open Coco's neck. Use her little finger to just pull out the snowball and just sews her back up.
She went all Grey's Anatomy on us.
Seriously. And Ryan Murphy owes me a fucking $1 million because I answered on Instagram, that looks like Leslie Grossman, of that image that they posted where the thing was cut off and it was just this of a person. It was like a wax part of a person built. And Ryan was like, $1 million to the person who guesses this. And I was like, that looks like Leslie Grossman. Yeah, I was right. You owe me $1 million, Ryan Murphy.
Pay up, Ryan.
Well, tell you what. And so to avoid the money, just punch me in the face and give me a job as a writer on the show. I'll take that.
Hashtag MaryGirl Moody season 9.
Hell yeah. Hashtag MaryGirl Moody season 9. That would be absolute, or AHS season 9. Yeah. MaryGirl Moody, AHS season 9. That's a long hashtag, but I think we can make it work. So let's see. I thought that was an awesome scene when
Is Ryan Murphy still stalking you?
Yes, because I have been diagnosed with celiac disease. I shit you not. Last week I had blood work done, and it came back on last Friday that I was diagnosed with celiac disease. I shit you not, I am allergic to gluten.
Oh no.
I shit you not. And I
So
have been
you
sick.
need your own cocoa.
I am sick. I've been sick for a long time too, especially with my stomach. And I had no idea what it was. And so my doctor thought, well, maybe we should test you for celiac disease. And I thought, well, so I asked her, what is that? And she said, gluten. I laughed. I nearly peed in her doctor's office because that was last Thursday that I went to see her. I laughed so hard I nearly peed myself. And of course, I had to explain to her that I was laughing because of American Horror Story because one of the characters could detect gluten. So, and that she had thrown down her brother's biscotti. And I was laughing because I was thinking, how is saving somebody from gluten protecting them from death? And then I remember thinking, and so, yes, when
Marvel
somebody,
fanboy says, "Call Coco, sis."
yeah, right. But yes, if you are truly allergic to gluten and you eat it, it will make you feel like you are burning alive in fucking hell. It is very painful. It is extraordinarily painful. So I'm sitting here, in my review going off about, oh, how is that life saving? Then the next week I'm diagnosed with it. Yeah, Ryan Murphy is definitely stalking me because they were checking me for this shit even last year. He's got part of my medical chart. I'm telling you.
New
He's
theory
gone
video.
straight into me. So Zoe comes to the conclusion after the whole thing where Mallory helps Coco that most of us has basically reached that Cordelia is fading because Mallory is the next Supreme. And at the Warlock School, Myrtle and Bubbles, they have a hilarious dinner date with Ariel and Baldwin. It is hilarious. I love how Ariel and Baldwin are in their head like, oh, I hate this bitch, to Myrtle. And I mean, it was just hilarious to hear their inner thoughts when you see that they're having a very joyful, happy, dinner. And you would not expect that the warlocks inside their heads are like, I hate these bitches. I cannot wait to see the looks on their faces as they're dying from the poison that I forcefully shoved down their throat and things like that. I thought it was just very two-faced and hilarious. But so Bubbles gets from the dinner that they killed John Henry and that they're planning to kill all of the witches, obviously. Now, back at Miss Robichaux's Academy, this is where all of the witches and Behold are sitting down at the dinner. That's the picture that's been released online through Ryan Murphy's Instagram and stuff. And they're all kind of celebrating because it might be the last time that they're all really together. And I'm sorry, I feel like I have something in my eye. Mallory feels sad because her rise means Cordelia's demise. And Cordelia's trying to tell her, look, it's all right. Well, we're just going to move past it. Everything's going to be fine. And in this story, though, guys, is when Cordelia takes us all back to 2 years before the apocalypse, before she's sitting down with everybody. And she tells us the story of how she conjured Myrtle and brought her back. Which I gotta admit, Kenny, are you getting a little confused on some of the storylines at this time? The time is just jumping backwards and forwards so fast. You have no
Yeah,
idea.
it said 2 years before what did it say? The apocalypse or whatever. Like, okay, I thought we were already 2 years before. So, huh?
So
I
are
was
we
like,
4 years now at the time of Myrtle? And I mean, yeah, because Cordelia had to have met Michael and known at that point that he was the Antichrist, but they only met him like 3 years before the apocalypse.
but didn't Cordelia meet Michael with Myrtle in Zoe?
Right, she was already brought back at the time, so it's like my
I'm so
mind just
confused.
wants to explode. It feels like
maybe it was like Cordelia had a vision or something. I mean, like I don't know.
I feel
thought we
like
were
my
3 years
brain
before
just
the
wants
bomb.
to get up out of my head and say, fuck you, bitch, and get up and move into somebody else's mind because it's so
I thought whenever
complex.
they had the flashbacks, like when they started the flashbacks, we were 3 years before the bomb.
Right.
which was 2016. So I'm like, okay, well, if Myrtle was clearly with Cordelia 3 years before the bomb, so how does she resurrect? Like, did she burn her a third time? And we don't, like, what?
I mean, is she just a burden kind of a bitch? I mean, I don't get it.
I mean, maybe Myrtle choked on a snowball too. I don't know.
Well, let's see what everybody's thinking out there very quick. Marble Fanboy says, I love how the whole episode exists. Cora B says that dinner date was worth the episode. Diana says, just eat that ice cream, do a little bit more exercise later that day. Oh, I guess she's talking to somebody else. What's up, DC? Cora says Cordelia will bow out with grace. And Cora says also that we were 3 years before. Marble Fanboy says Myrtle was revived around the same time as Roanoke was happening around the cult election. And Cora thinks they messed up. Dinah says that the timeline was giving her a fit last night.
When do they build Robot Mead, like X-Men Origins Miss Mead? Like, is that going to be a new movie?
That would be badass though if it was. But thanks to BRT, I am making a theory video based on the technology behind Miss Mead, because Gary had a
I'm not trying to shade like the writers or anything, but didn't it take like Sophia the robot? Like, wasn't that like a 10-year process to just build a robot that's clearly a robot? You bet all of a sudden it takes just 1 year to build the most like unobvious that she was even a robot. Like,
that's part of Gary's theory. Yes, he thinks he knows how Miss Mead got built.
It's got to be some sort of alien shit going on.
That's it. Kenny, you're brilliant. You and Gary, that's it. That's what his idea was. So I am definitely making a video on that. Yes. Now, let's see. So we got to what? By the way, when the fuck did Myrtle switch to a vape? She was always a smoker, and I don't understand why she switched to a vape.
Well, she probably has still gasoline in her throat from when they lit her on fire, so she doesn't really want to go back to cigarettes.
All that burning in hell kind of left her throat something to be desired. Absolutely. Well, the witches all get together after the dinner, and they go to the gas station and resurrect John Henry, and he tells them that he was killed by a woman and not a warlock, which that brings them to deduce Miss Mead. So later, Cordelia goes to Coco and asks her to take out Miss Mead, who at this point is considered the traitor. And in true tradition of cult guys, Coco stalks Miss Mead and follows her to the grocery store. I loved the image of Coco in the mirror of the grocery store looking at Miss Mead as she walks away from the butcher. You know, that was just so cult. I loved it. Let's see, where did I? So Miss Mead, when Coco comes and confronts Miss Mead thinks that she's got the jump on our girl Coco, but surprise, bitch, the Matrix twins are back and they kidnap Miss Mead because Coco was just a decoy to distract her from the twins.
I think they kind of knew Coco would fail.
What, Kenny?
I think they kind of knew that Coco would fail. That's why they brought those twins.
Well, and Coco kind of said herself to Cordelia that she's just basically a Jenny Craig calorie counter. You know, why would Coco come ask her for help when she couldn't even do anything? And I wondered the same thing. And so now I see why. It was just as a way to distract Miss Mead, because if she saw one of the twins or anybody of real significance coming for her, she would be somewhat, you know, prepared and ready. But someone like Coco, someone she would think, oh, I don't have to worry about that little skinny blonde girl. I can just, you know, take her home and boil her. So yeah, I thought it was a really pretty good little decoy. So Aro and Baldwin are planning to poison the witches, but it's so hilarious when the witches show up right in the middle of when they're discussing and chuckling about their plan. and they fucking throw their lame ass plan under the bus of how they were going to murder the witches. And so when Aro also tells Cordelia that her powers are fading, she straight up takes his mouth off of his face and so it can seal his mouth shut. I love that. Would you sell your soul to Papa Legba for that power, Kenny?
Yes.
Because I know
I mean, I would definitely if it was like, okay, their mouth and their keyboards.
I think I'm also going to make that a poll. Well, not a poll question, but an answer one of what would you sell your soul to Papa Legba in exchange for? So I'm probably going to do that one on my Twitter as well. So I'm going to have a lot of great questions coming up on my Twitter, guys, at MaryGirl Moody, if you want to go there later and check some of them out. So I'll have them posted for this week. So that way next Beyond the Horror, I can also give results and we can kind of talk more about them as well as discuss them on the weekly Wednesday live stream. So the warlocks, or excuse me, so Michael is not around basically when Cordelia and her coven burn Arrow. His name is spelled Ariel, but they pronounce it Arrow. So I don't know if I'm saying it right or wrong. So
He's the Volturi.
You're right, it does. So they burn Ariel, Baldwin, and Miss Mead. And Miss Mead has got this satanic ass grin on her face when she's being burned. And it was incredibly creepy and scary. And
I know that was some straight up butcher shit from Roanoke.
Yes. Especially when she was going to the butcher. I liked that, that they put her in the butcher section of the grocery store.
The butchery on Main.
Yeah. Yes. It's for the butchery on Main. Yes. So Cordelia and her coven basically walk away with Behold and John Henry. Like it's an action movie. And all of them are left burning. So we were all wrong in who our predictions were for the traitor. It was Aro, Baldwin, and Miss Mead. And that was a pretty good episode. And I definitely rated a 9. It had a really well-written storyline with like pretty good development. We got Nan, Papa Legba, and let's just face it, it gets a 9 for burning that prick Arrow. He was so smug and confident. And Behold and Baldwin, John Henry, all of them. At some point, there came a time where they realized that Michael was more than just your average warlock and supreme. There was something sinister, something malicious to him. They all came to this realization. And they each had to make a choice. Either continue to back Michael no matter what, or find out what he is so you can make your own choice because you have morals. And those who chose to have morals are on the side of the witches, and those who didn't and stuck with Michael were the ones who got burned. So does anyone think, though, that Michael was there watching Cordelia and her coven burn those 3 people? Do you think so, Kenny?
Yeah, because next week we see him there, right? Like
Was he?
I think that was the same spot, I guess. And
I don't know if they'll go, but I thought maybe
they had that picture of Cody, Fern, and Sarah, like it was like maybe an hour later because they were all burnt to crisp. So I mean.
See, I thought maybe she would take him back at one point, obviously, but I didn't know if maybe he would be there watching. Of course, then again, if he was, maybe he probably would have stopped the whole thing.
What is the significance of Timothy and what's her face? Like,
Timothy and Emily? I know! That was never answered, and I'm still so pissed about that. And guys, I would like to take a quick moment to give a huge lots of love to my patrons. During the finale of Beyond the Horror, of American Horror Story Apocalypse, I'm going to do a pre-finale show and, of course, Beyond the Horror Apocalypse. So during both of those episodes, I'm going to be giving away a bunch of prizes, and it is my patrons. It is their love and generosity that pays for those prizes that I give away. So I would love to give a special shout out to Alicia, Mia, and baby Jalen George, No Tell Hotel, Michael Mullins Wright, Jeremy Oren, Vic and Stark, Scoot Scoot, Kenny Joseph, Shay Sultan, Joseph Anthony, Don Ford, X Misa, Jill Post, Maureen Healy, Luke Reese, Irish Melly, Ray Myers, Leah Bashford, Rez Ramirez, John Morgan, Connor Thane, Cody Spencer, Suki Fawn, Shane, Mike Gedney, and Debbie Ebby Babebby. And to be a patron and earn tons of rewards for just $1, click on the link in the description that is hopefully there now. So what do you rate this episode, Kenny? What would you rate it, and what do you think were its strengths and its weaknesses?
8.5.
Okay.
I don't know. It felt a bit, not like a filler episode, but it was a bit, I don't know. Like, I like Mallory as a character, but like, we keep getting these scenes of her just showing like her powers or whatever. It's all like building up to something. Like, I don't know. I like how they showed voodoo again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it was a filler episode, but it was definitely not, I mean, granted, I'm probably just saying this because the episode before was the Return to Murder House, so I probably still have high expectations. But where the fuck is Kyle?
Yeah. Evan Peters tweeted that Kyle is coming back, and then he deleted it. So I thought, well, we all thought he released a spoiler accidentally, but maybe he released it and thought, oh, no, shit, I put the wrong person.
They don't even have to bring him back. Like, I just want to know, like, did him and Zoe get a divorce? Did they, like, whatever happened? Did he leave? Did they burn him for killing Madison? Which they knew he killed Madison. They didn't give a shit, though.
Yeah, did they have a threesome again once Madison came back to life,
Yeah, like, they could have, like, we don't even need to see him at this point. Although I don't know. I don't want to sound bitchy, but, like, why would they introduce a new Evan character as opposed to just showing Kyle? Like,
and it seems that Mallory is filling in for the role of Kyle now. They don't have a Spalding anymore. They don't have Kyle, but Mallory's the one who's taking people to their rooms and kind of, letting people in and doing the things that Kyle or Spalding would be doing. So I
think they probably, most likely with Spalding, they probably just released his spirit so that way that upstairs could be more, room. Because, if I'm not the only one who noticed this, but they completely renovated like the downstairs, like their staircase is completely different.
Yeah.
Like they added a room. I guess they have so many witches there now that they need all the space they can get.
See, I think that they did that because they couldn't go and film anymore at Miss Robichaux's actual academy. So the exterior shots are from a previous season, from season 3. And then the interior is just from sets that they've made.
Yeah, because we never seen anybody like outside on the steps or anything. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And Murder House was such a big episode. I'm sure they wanted a smaller episode to kind of help bring the fans down from the excitement of Murder House, sort of like a way to cleanse the palate and get them ready for the final 3 episodes.
Okay, I have something. It might be a bit confusing, but I did post it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're going to do this time traveling to, I guess, prevent the murder house or prevent Michael or kill him or whatever? Because obviously Hotel is still a thing in 2022 and Scarlett's going off to college and, whatever, Devil's Night, this and that. I was like, okay, I think that's going to happen. But then I said, hold on. That can't happen. Like, they can't prevent, because the theory was, they're going to prevent the Harmons from ever moving in to the house. And I said, well, no, that can't happen. It's going to end up either being, they just kill Michael at some point, like when he's a child or something, but they can't prevent the Harmons are moving in, because in 501, this is, I guess, it's really small to other people, but to me, it's like, no, this is big. In 501, Marcy says, oh, I just had to put my dog Hallie down. I got her from basically, unfortunate circumstances. That means season 1 did happen. The Harmons did die. So that basically.
Oh, damn, Kenny.
So it's like we can't go back and, prevent the Harmons from moving in, but we can't just not go back in time because hotel is still a thing in 2022.
Sure.
So I don't know how they're going to do that, but I'm like, no, that can't happen because And
Marcy, I don't care if this little kid in front of me is going to grow up to be Adolf Hitler. How can you kill a child?
Literally.
I mean, it wouldn't matter who this kid grows up to be. I mean, and I'm not saying like, oh my God, no abortion. No, nothing like that. But when this kid is out and it's walking around and it's cute, even though it might have just killed a bunch of people, how can you kill a kid? Well, then again, I guess Carol already answered that in The Walking Dead. I guess you can.
Look at the flowers.
Look at the flowers, Michael. Look at the flowers. That would be hilarious if that's how they did it. But, I have no idea how they're going to
go back and prevent, or I guess they got to go back in time, because once those, like Naomi Grossman, I don't know what her character's name was, and, the Satan worshipers, once they came to the house, he sort of knew who he was.
Yes.
So if they go back and, I guess kill him before that happens, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe.
But they can't just completely, we just tell the Harmons, don't move into this house, because no, Marcy has their dog, meaning everything in season 1 pretty much is supposed to happen.
What if they just burn the rubber suit? I'm serious. What if they just go to the murder house and burn the rubber suit?
Oh my gosh, Marvel fanboy says no for Michael. It'd be look at the dead rats, Michael. Look at the dead rats. Same.
Instead of look at the flowers. I love that. But yeah, I mean, maybe. That's a really good theory video to come up with of how this will all end. Personally, I would love to see a big fight between either Cordelia and Michael, and that would be how she'd die. Or a big fight between Mallory and Michael. And
I will smash my TV if they try to say the apocalypse happens, but we just, like, the world is back to normal, like 7 billion people didn't just die. Like, what? It's got to be they go back in time or do something, like, or reverse it. Like, it can't just be, we rebuild society. No, because, like, what? No, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I guess we should make a sort of like another video about like speculating how this is going to end and what will happen. So it is a very good point.
You know what does suck though? Like if they go back, like, okay, like say they do go back in time, like, okay, Queenie did say, I still feel like this isn't real. Like none of this has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that like suck if Moira doesn't get her happy ending because they go back in time and do something?
Yeah.
I would smash my TV.
Yeah, that's true. I want Moira to keep her happy ending. That was one of the most incredible moments.
Right?
On
they gotta be real articulate. They can't have any plot holes. Like they gotta be real careful with how they do this because I don't know how they're gonna do that. Like this is a theory of it. This is like a 3-part theory video because, like, if they go back in time, it's gonna like screw up the whole season 1 plot line.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be some X-Men crap. Like this time.
Oh God! Right? No, I guess maybe they will. God, that's a good question of how they're going to end this. Certainly haven't thought of that. I'm still thinking of the questions that they haven't answered yet. Like, who the fuck led the cooperative? And why? Certainly. Where is that playing? We're getting so much flashback now that everything that's happened at the beginning of the season, we never got an answer to. So it's.
I feel like we could get answers if it was more than freaking 10 episodes.
Oh, I know.
Ugh.
All right, guys. Well, Kenny and I are probably going to start wrapping up the live stream. So if there's any questions that you have, please let us know in the comments so that way we can actually answer them before we go. So Kenny rated the episode an 8.5. I give it a 9. Don't forget to put your rating in the comments as well. And guys, I have a bunch of theory videos that will be coming out soon. Let's see, I have a Michael versus Scathich theory video. I have 8 ambiguous questions yet to be answered, an AHS apocalypse. I have character videos for Cody Fern and Billy Porter. I have the technology behind Miss Mead as a theory video. And I don't know if you guys don't notice, but this is supposed to be a funny, but there's round stairs everywhere in the seasons of American Horror Story. Everywhere. So I am clipping all of the round stairs that have been in every single season. And I think I'm almost done with that. So that's coming out soon too. Don't forget the theory videos. My patrons get those much earlier. So if you subscribe and click the notification button, you will be notified when the videos come out. And also there's something new on YouTube where you can do a premiere, I guess, of your new videos. So make sure to know that I will definitely be doing that with my next video. Also, I have a vote going on right now of how I close out my videos. Usually I say beware of sexy Scathich, but it's a vote now of either beware of sexy Scathich or beware of the tearjerker. So you can either vote in the comments or you can go on my Twitter at MaryGirl Moody and you can vote for your favorite there. And there will be more poll questions there as well. Kenny, thank you so much for being on the show. And I really appreciate you being so sweet to let us do it this morning instead of last night. I had literally been up for
fun.
like 3 hours in the past 48 hours, and I really needed to go to bed. Happy birthday to James Brody. James, you have a great day. Marble Fanboy rates this episode at 8.5. Cora B rates the episode an 8. And James asks, the birthday boy is asking Kenny, who is our favorite character for this season? Theirs is Coco. Kenny, who is your favorite character this season so far?
Probably either Behold or Coco. I can't decide.
I have to say Behold or Coco as well. Miss Mead is a strong third. But yes, Behold and Coco have to be the top 2. They are just incredible.
I just noticed something too. I don't know why this thought came into my mind. What freaking dental appliance is Sarah Paulson's character wearing?
I know. I seriously think they trashed that idea. You know, when they trashed the real idea to season 8 and just decided, fuck it. Instead of season 9 being the Murder House Kevin crossover, we'll do it this year.
Okay, also, wasn't Dinah, like they said she was the voodoo queen? I thought she had her own daytime. I thought she was like Oprah or something, had her own daytime television show. But yeah, she's the voodoo queen. Like, that's a lot of jobs.
Yeah, because she was able to afford the $100 million ticket for herself, her son, and her son's boyfriend. So that's $300 million. Yeah, I mean, wow, I guess she grew in those very short years after Cordelia came to her. Wow. Yes, she certainly did. That's a very good call, Kenny. Damn, Kenny. You are literally an American Horror Story genius. An aficionado.
Okay, again, like for the last episode, I don't want to see Cordelia die. I don't think anybody does, but
yeah,
I feel like she's gonna like do some sort of, Mojo Jojo. Oh, I'm gonna sacrifice myself for the greater good, so that way Mallory like unlocks her supreme power. She's probably gonna pull a Fiona and make Mallory slit her throat.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right, everybody. Well, we are going to go on ahead and end the show. I have my weekly Wednesday live stream coming up. I know it's on Thursday, but I'm doing it on this day to avoid the spoilers that could get to you on Wednesday. So that's coming up. And then I have a patron only live stream today as well as my patrons and I on Friday or Saturday. we're going to be watching through some YouTube funnies and just kind of talking through some stuff with each other and just like having some good fun watching fun videos on YouTube. So patrons, get ready for that. Thank you so much to everybody who subscribes, who thumbs up, thumbs down, all that stuff. It all makes my channel much better. And thank you especially to Kenny for being on the show. Kenny, again, you are a freaking genius.
Yeah, thank you. I have so much fun doing this.
I'm glad. Okay, well, we will see you guys next week with episode 8. I cannot believe we're only 3 episodes away from the finale. This sucks. All right, well, we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.